Hey guys, this is Mike Chalice for GamingLagg.com. If you like our content and would like to support us, please visit our Patreon. Our unofficial goal is to reach 1,000 gamers, giving $1 a month. A little bit from you will mean a lot for us. Thank you for your continued support and kind words over these past few months. Good evening, Guardians, and welcome to The Last Word, GamingLagg.com's Destiny-only podcast. I'm your host, Mike Chalice, and with me, we have the man with the beard, Matt Bird.
How's it going?
Mr. Josh Quigley.
Here I am.
I'm done with the boss of bosses.
Yeah,
I said that a few weeks, I think either last week or the week before, but I'm just done with it. You're not my boss anymore. You're just my friend. I like that better anyway. So you're just Mr. Josh Quigley. I hope you're all right with that.
I mean,
this is going to be a much happier version of the podcast because, as we mentioned in our Lag Spike podcast this week, Sam is on vacation. So no gloom and doom, all happiness, and we actually have quite a bit of Destiny news to go over because Bungie Day was just after our podcast, just after we recorded our podcast last week. Before we get into that, though, sorry, I'm a little bigger than some people, and I run out of breath easier. Before we get into that, let's go over what we always like to go over. So Gamer Support Gamers is a page on our website dedicated to gamers similar to us, making content on YouTube or Twitch, or having gaming-related websites or podcasts. You can visit all of those people which have all great content. All their links are available right on our website, and hopefully you find somebody that you really have similar interests with and you really like and make the content that you like to listen to, because we don't all want to be watching the same people, especially when you think some of them are annoying. More importantly, though, we're going to be at the Fredericton Gaming Expo in August 15th and 16th. So if you are a local listener or somebody who's going to be in the Maritimes or want to come up to that, it is a small expo in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and we are going to be there supporting Extra Life, sort of unofficially. We have a great basket we are going to be raffling off, and it is going to include things like pop vinyls that people love to collect, some chic amiibo action, Gaming Lag swag, some shirts, food, coupons, everything. We got a lot of different people that have come through and donated some stuff. But why is Extra Life important? And for that, I send it over to Matt. Why is Extra Life important? Why do we care? Why do we need money, Matt?
Because it is support Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
Man, I'm hyper.
You are.
I know. All right, sorry.
You don't even drink energy drinks anymore.
All right. Why is Extra Life important, Matt? Go.
I already said Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
Okay. So what about them?
They get most of their funding through fundraising campaigns like this, whether it be Extra Life, their own different things. But we've chosen the IWK because it's near and dear to us. We'll actually be talking about that soon in the next few weeks to come.
Absolutely.
And it is for a great cause. Anyone can join our team. 2,000, 2,500, we'll see. In November, I'm probably losing my beard if we raise enough as a team, but they say they're just going to hold me down and shave the beard anyway.
That's right.
We did. That is a true fact.
So we are going to be doing a stream on November 7th, which is the official day that everybody should be playing video games for 24 hours. Most of us will be here for all 24 hours. I think me and Matt are confirmed. No. Okay. So I'm confirmed 100% because I don't have a job. And so yes, I'm confirmed 100%. We're going to be streaming for 24 hours. We'll have lots of different friends coming in. We're going to stream sort of the room in general. If we reach our goal of $2,500, Matt will have his beard shaved, or we'll hold him down and shave it on the live stream anyway. But it's important. As Matt said, Children's Miracle Networks get almost all of their funding through fundraisers similar to this campaign, and it's a great way to promote positivity in gaming, because we all know there are enough people promoting the opposite in gaming. And you don't have to have our permission to join our team. You can literally go to our page, join our team, but if you don't feel that you can raise the $100 that that Extra Life sort of recommends that you recommend, that you raise, not recommend, then you can actually just donate to one of us. Just pick one of the hosts here and donate money that way. That weekend in August for the Fredericton Gaming Expo will be the official kickoff of our Extra Life campaign. Will be where we will be pushing it quite a bit harder, trying to raise as much money as we possibly can as we get closer to November.
Yeah.
Boom. What have you done in Destiny? I haven't done a whole lot, but Matt, what have you done this week? Because I know you've played a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Tuesday reset. Of course, ran all the Nightfalls. Got duplicates. Didn't get anything new this week. Ran some different PoEs. Finally leveled Fatebringer to 365, and won't say why I did it, but I finally did Skolas, and big shout out to Nanotech, King Sora on PlayStation if you have him there.
Yeah.
And Ryan for getting me through Skolas on second attempt this week. First attempt was a little bit messy.
Little rough.
Little rough. Second go with Ryan and Nanu went very well.
Yep.
Elder Cypher dropped, I think it's 100% drop rate on 35 now.
Maybe.
Because all three of us got it.
Yeah, it's a super high drop rate if you do it on 35. I know that.
Can't get a damn key though, so that I can get
Do
Queen
the next
Cypher.
part. Yeah.
Tried grinding that for 3 hours, but yeah, a lot of Destiny this week. All because of something we'll be talking about later in the news.
So we're going to go over that a little bit later. My list is very short because of the thing we're going to be talking about later. I played for a little bit, did a few things to make sure that I had that secured, and I did one Nightfall that I hopped in with Nanotech as well. And after that, I've been playing mostly The Witcher, so I don't have a lot of Destiny news. As I mentioned, I'm starting to find it very difficult to force myself to play. All three of my characters are 34, and I'm not going to get to play the Taken King when it comes out. I'm going to be so far behind by the time I get back from my honeymoon and things like that, that it is sort of hard to get as excited as other people are getting because we got lots of news to go over based on that excitement. But, Josh, what have you done in Destiny, buddy?
I haven't done a whole lot either.
Okay.
I've played a lot of other games. I did my 2 Nightfalls this week. I did the weekly heroics this week just because I was starting to drop below 200 strange coins, so
Yep.
figured I might as well get myself back up over that cap. Bought a couple of things from Zer, and that was really about it.
Cool.
Got all duplicates, but I got 2 chess pieces that I didn't have before.
Sure. Are you trying
Zer.
to do, or you're going to try and do Skolas you mentioned earlier?
I'm going to try to do Skolas hopefully this week. I was going to try last week, but plans fell through, so hopefully this week will be the one.
You didn't miss much on that day. You didn't miss much at all.
Well,
that's how I hear it.
Let's get into the news because, like I said, there is a little bit to go over. Bungie had their community day last Tuesday, and year one video reviewing year one of the playing and stuff, which is really funny. They make fun of themselves, apparently. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but apparently if you're a fan of the game, that is for you. But most important thing that came out of that is this. Year one players will have the chance to do moments of triumph.
The Laurea Prima.
So we're going to talk about a little bit of disappointment from it, but it has encouraged the community to be doing stuff that they weren't doing. So first of all, moments of triumph is something for year one players that can as long as you complete this list of things, you will get a unique year one, the only place you can get it, emblem for your character, which if you don't play the game or if you don't know what an emblem is and you do play the game, you might have other problems, but it's the thing that goes around your name on the screen when you're looking in a party or your character screen. So this is what you need to do. I'm going to go through them really quickly, and then we'll talk about the actual moments of triumph and what we think of it, okay? So first is called Chest Hunter. You need to find all gold chests. Crucible Gladiator, 100 Crucible wins. Public Servant completed 50 public events. Light of the Garden defeated the Dark Heart of the Black Garden, so you have to finish the story. Light in the Dark prevented the summoning of Crota's soul, so you got to finish that. Which is the Dark Below story. Light of the Reef captured Skolas in the Vex Citadel, which is the story for House of Wolves. Apprentice of Light, a character reached max level. If you've done the rest of those, you've had to have done that.
Yeah.
Bane of Atheon complete Vault of Glass on hard mode, and Bane of Crota completed Crota's End on hard mode. Bane of Skolas defeated Skolas in the Prison of Elders. Not too bad. Skolas is probably the most challenging one. What do we think of the reward for doing all that, though? Is it worth it? So anybody can jump in. I don't care which one you say.
Honestly, I think it's worth it in terms of a reward for this list, simply based on the fact that most people who've been playing the game.
Yeah.
Like I have, I think 3 or 4 gold chests that I just never bothered to get, and I haven't bothered to do.
That's actually the thing that I jumped on to do this week because I had 7 chests and I used a wiki and just went and found them all.
Yeah, and I haven't done Skolas yet, but I was going to do Skolas regardless.
Yeah.
So this is kind of if you play the game, you're going to do this anyways. Here's our version of a reward for having done it. So it's not like it's that big of a deal, but at the same breath, it's not really much of a reward either because it's a basic emblem.
I think the emblems is sort of annoying because if it was a shader, I think people would have been less likely to be disappointed in it. because shaders are really like, okay, this is what I want my character to look like. If you came out with like a badass shader or something, it would have been much cooler for you, because an emblem is just, okay, yeah, I have this. The other thing that I kind of don't like is, and this is just probably me, is that you don't get it right away. You get it on September 15th when the Taken King comes out, and you have until then to do it. I don't disagree that they couldn't announce this and then say, if you don't have it done now, you can never get it, because I would have been furious, because I've just been putting off getting those chests for no reason. But giving people the 2 months that they need to get it, it's not going to feel as special, because everybody who's been playing for year one is going to have it by the end of it. Pretty much.
No. Which kind of makes sense, because it is supposed to be that year one
I
reward.
understand that, but I think an emblem is a little bit... I hope they have more planned for year one players, and because they did say that they were going to be going over, like, oh, you're going to get better stuff than what people are getting from that stuff. So what do you think about this, Matt? Do you think the emblem is worth it?
Well, it's all endgame content anyway. Each one of those things gives you a reward as you unlock them anyway.
Yep.
So shader would have been nicer, but just to say, yes, I've been there... I guess you can't even say since day one, because you don't have to have it since September. You can buy the collector's edition now, start playing, and have the 2 months to finish.
Yeah.
I just thought.
What?
Go, say.
Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
A shader would have been nicer, but an emblem, I mean, sure, it tells the story of where you are so far.
Yep.
I don't really care.
Yeah, that's the thing. It did make me want to, okay, I better do the gold chest, because I don't want to be that guy. But I think the issue that I have is that this really is only going to signify something if there becomes this huge amount of year two players that pick up this Taken King thing and decide, okay, I now play Destiny, and then you want to read up about where you get that emblem. So like maybe you might come across 4 people who are like, oh man, you got that emblem, like you're a year one player and stuff. And maybe in 8 years, since they say they're supporting this for 10, maybe in 8 years you end up, if you have that emblem, maybe that becomes more important. Maybe in 8 years, you're just like, I have the year one emblem. But what do you got? Yeah. Mic drop.
The chances that I'm logging in 8 years is probably pretty small.
That's the issue. But it did have some interesting impacts on the community. So we're going to go over that right now, because it was positive, unless you have something you want to add.
I just thought of what an awesome reward would have been.
What's that?
I don't know how you would ever implement it.
What's that?
A shader that you got a slide bar for each section, and you get to design your own.
Interesting.
So you get one shot. You move the...
You just pick whatever colors you want.
So you know how there's the
black,
3
black,
sections.
black would be mine.
Yeah, if that's what you want.
But, that's what I want.
Just as kind of that one shot, you get to ultimately decide however your character wants to look.
That would be cool.
And then it would be a shader nobody else could get.
That would be cool. It would be incredibly hard to program, I would think.
I would think very difficult.
That being said, mine would I just pick black, 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 and black, because in every game that I've ever played that's MMO-ish, the black shaders, if there is a shader system, is always the one that's most expensive and the one that everybody wants. In Guild Wars, the black shader was like, if you had one, you could sell it on the auction house for so much money, because it was the one that was most sought after. But let's go over the positive impact it had on the community. So this is something that Bungie does incredibly well, which is inspire their community to keep going. So this one little emblem and little tree on Bungie.net inspired people. There was a 39% increase in public event completion, a 74% increase in Skolas kills in Prison of Elders,
which is massive.
Huge. 40% in Crota Zen hard mode participation, and 10% in Vault of Glass hard mode. I think the reason that one's lower, it's not just running it, it's because it has stuff that still appeals to them, and I know you have a note there, Matt, which is the reason. It has Fatebringer and Vex Mythoclast. Everybody wanted to constantly do it every week until everybody had that. But those are massive increases, and that's something that Bungie does really well, and that's something, like, they paid tribute in that video, and you were saying that they make fun of themselves, saying, here's what the game is going to be, and then they make it fun that it shipped with nothing in it. It's all... That's how Bungie is. Even their Twitter posts or even their, updates are sarcastic and funny, and that's just how they do them. But it inspired a lot of people to do stuff.
The 8-bit video too. You guys really need to watch it, because they did 8-bit version, and if they came out with an 8-bit side scroller Destiny, I would buy it based off the graphics that were in that video.
That does sound really cool. I I don't know. I just think it's really interesting that Destiny players like us, especially us who do a whole podcast dedicated to the game, will bitch and complain about the game literally every time we play it. We will say, screw this game, I'm not playing anymore. And then the next night we're back on because Bungie said, oh, there's Iron Banner's back. Or there's moments of triumphs. Or if you find this squirrel in the tree in the tower, you will get a soccer ball to kick around. You would do it. I'd log in to do that because that's how the Bungie community is and why it's such a positive community. I mean,
I just want to find the squirrel.
I know. But when you look back to that really, really touching video of everybody giving a salute to somebody who actually had passed away from Dads of Destiny, and everybody sent in videos to Reddit like saluting, kind of a fallen comrade thing. Like, that's the community that Destiny is and why it's so appealing. It's not, the game is satisfying enough, and there are some problems with it, but the community keeps it going. It's similar to things like World of Warcraft and why people still play it, because they play with 40 people that they really love to play games with, and they can communicate and talk every day. It's just the way it is. That enough on that, I think?
That's enough on
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that they released on Bungie Day was
It wasn't on Bungie Day. It
Okay,
was
well, on
at
their
the end of
weekly
the week.
update, you're right.
On Saturday.
They released what the quests and bounties are going to be like in the Taken King, which is actually some really good improvements. So traditionally, you have to go to the tower and get the bounties, and that's not changing. The two things that they are changing is they are going to have a bounty tracker on your actual HUD in-game, so you don't always have to go into the menu to check your status on the bounty itself. That's important because you have to go into your character screen, then hit R1 to go over, and then go down and check it. This is going to have an actual quest tracker like most MMOs have to tell you exactly where you are. But the best improvement is that you do not have to go back to wherever you got the bounty to return it. As soon as it is done, it is done, it is completed. I think you just need to click on it or something, and it gives you the reward. What do we think of that?
I think that's amazing. That saves so much time of load screens. It's kind of what we want it, where load into the tower so that we can pick those things up to take some of the things away, but now go to the tower, get them, and then when you're done, you get to turn them in. It'll be... I'd like to see if it actually is going to happen that way. They're kind of skirting around that. But I am actually more excited to see what the quest lines are going to be like, because that was... As much as I hated doing the void part of Thorn, I really enjoyed those different types of, like, the Thorn bounty.
Yeah.
Not Pocket Infinity, though. That one was stupid.
Yeah.
But having those quest chains and everything there, and the bounties will actually go towards the quest chains, and there being ones specifically for your Blade Dancer, for your gunslinger, and things like that.
It sucks that it's taken a whole year to do it, but I'm glad you brought up the point of loading times. Yes, they may not be able to improve on the fact that there's loading times between planets and things like that, but that is a very quick way to avoid some unnecessary loading times, because now you don't have to go back to the tower or the reef to do these bounties. You can literally go, if you wanted to, go back to orbit and go to your next destination. I know that's still loading screens, but it's less loading screens. The next thing I really hope they announce that they're implementing in the Taken King is an in-game item swapper from your vault. I hope that they announce it so you can go into your menu, and then you go and you have a vault tab that you can take stuff from your vault if you want it.
It's going to be in the second screen app in the armory.
Seconds, yeah, okay.
You can actually have your loadouts all picked and just hit the loadout button.
Okay, if they have
it'll
loadouts, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's what I really want.
That was actually announced on the weekly update too for the armory. You can actually set loadouts.
Yeah, okay. What do you think about the quest changes and stuff? Do you think you like it, or
I like it. I mean, I think at some point it'd be nice for them to include picking the bounties back up. Because ultimately you're going to have to go to the tower. Like, once you finish them off, you're going to have to go to pick them up anyways. But if you wanted to drop them off before you go to do like a raid or any of those things, it definitely saves on load time.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those really little things that can have a massively positive impact.
Another thing that they're increasing to sort of alleviate the load times, though, is that they are allowing you to carry more bounties. So they're going to increase that yet again.
Which is great.
Which is great. So maybe you can go and have room for every bounty that's there, and then and then leave. I think this was kind of a small announcement, but I think they don't want to like show their cards too early since they had their big E3 reveal and they've already talked about the new specs. Hopefully they have some. These are all quality of life improvements, which is much needed to Destiny, because although the gameplay mechanically is still really good, you really do need those quality of life improvements. I mean, I frickin' do this all the time, but it's the one I played the most. When I played World of Warcraft back in the original World of Warcraft and comparing it to now, there's so many quality of life improvements that are just insane, from being able to store all of your vanity items in one book. It doesn't take up inventory space, to quest tracking, to a whole map that tells you when you're, because in World of Warcraft you use a map, it tells you where these quests are. I don't necessarily care about trying to find stuff. Some people think it's too much hand holding, but in an MMO style game, you don't want to be handheld through everything. It would take you a year to do anything. So you want to be told, this is where I want to go, and that's all. These improvements are going to be important, and the Taken King's got to hit it home because they're charging $40 for it, and they've already had a lot of drop off from the game, and I would imagine they're going to get a big resurgence of people, and the Taken King needs to be good enough that resurgence of people are going to stay, and that's
Most
important.
definitely.
Yeah, that's important to note, right? Anything else, guys, that you want to mention about like all that stuff that came out on Bungie Day?
There wasn't really too much on Bungie Day itself.
It's small, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's small little announcements, but I think that's
The biggest announcements were for the people that were actually there and getting to play more of the Taken King at Bungie and stuff like that. So that was a great part of Community Day, but there wasn't too many announcements for us.
Traditionally they do something a bit bigger. I remember in Halo days, I think you got maps and stuff like that, but I think just in the time frame that they're in, they can't come out in July and say, okay, it's July, here's everything about the Taken King, and then people can actually judge whether they're going to get it or not. I could imagine about 2 months before, you're going to start to see these scheduled streams coming out. They're going to have community members come back to Bungie and roll out with Deej and do these new parts, explore the raid a little bit, explore
as
the
long
Dreadnought.
as Dado comes out and has to do it blindfolded.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's just I assume that's what they're going to do. It sucks that it was kind of a smaller update, but at least they gave you news. I mean, they don't have to do any of that until closer to it, right? I hope they skip Gamescom, though. I hope they just do a Bungie thing from now on. I don't want to hear any more of the Taken King. I think the Taken King has been shown off enough at this point.
I want to see just the weekly update, what's new, what we don't know yet.
Yep, and then as we get closer, start doing those streams. I liked those streams.
Yeah, they were good.
Those announcement streams were really good. I was, you sit at home and you watch for 30 minutes and you really understand what this is all about, but you get to see people that are actually playing from the community play it and give you their honest first opinions. Prison of Elders was one of those things that was like, man, this is really cool, but then of course watching one stream and then playing it 70 times is two different things. Yeah. So I'm really glad they're bringing a raid back at least. But the raid, they said, is supposed to be bigger than any other thing they've ever tried. So I'm excited to see stuff about that.
Me too.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Like I said, let's do some plugs and get out of here. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Chalices. If you want to follow Matt,
I'm at ManW
and if you want to follow Josh,
at Joe Quiggle.
And if you want to follow us as a collective group, we are at Gaming Lagg, 2 G's and Lagg. Please go to gaminglag.com, same spelling. Support us in any way that you can. Visit our Patreon. Our unofficial goal is to try and get 1,000 gamers to give us $1 a month. As I mentioned in the message prior to the podcast starting, it's a little bit of money from you, which means a lot for us. We'll be able to do bigger and better things and more things, of course. So if you like our content, then do that for us. Feel free to give us more than $1. I'm okay with that too. All of your monies. That's fine. Whatever it is, support everybody on Gamers Support Gamers. There's some really great people on there, and they have some really great content, and they're really, really nice. Our community is slowly growing into something that I really enjoy, talking to all the people that are in it. And please support Extra Life. If you don't know what it is, go to our website, click on our banner, and read about it, and then donate money.
And that has been the last word.